is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
Alrighty, I believe we are live on LinkedIn right now, and if somebody would shoot me a comment and let me know, I would appreciate it very much. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing that I think is funny. I am a professional business person. This is Susan from Unstoppable Women in Business. And I have a deep desire to use LinkedIn properly, to be a professional, right? And I could have chosen to do this show on Facebook, but I really said, no. I'm going to conquer LinkedIn. I even have a coach in my mastermind group that's giving me all kinds of tips around how to do that properly. So here we are on LinkedIn, and I feel like a neophyte, so I'm going to ask for forgiveness in advance if things are not as smooth as I had hoped they might be today. But I'm super excited to be here. Again, it's Susan from Unstoppable Women in Business, and we are here today on the inaugural launch of the Women Running Funnels LinkedIn Live show. I plan on doing this every Wednesday at noon. It's going to be a quick hit of inspiration. And here's the funny thing that I found out is I started talking about this with my community and saying, this is really what I want to do. I want to have this opportunity to be able to run a show that brings women together that are running funnels. And then I started getting like questions, like, I don't run funnels. It's like, what do you mean? I'm watching you run funnels. I'm watching you move people through from the beginning of awareness through becoming a client with you. Yeah, you run funnels. Oh, they're like, oh, I didn't really think about it that way. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. And other people actually have had a negative, like, funnels. That sounds kind of like spammy or, kind of clickbaity. I'm like, no. So I do believe that there's actually a misconception or misnomer, or the word funnel just brings up all kinds of thoughts in people's minds. So let's start out by welcoming you to Women Running Funnels by telling you what I mean by that. I believe that every business who's out there, and especially online business owners, if you are out there, people need to know about you. They need to become aware of you. They need to really learn how to trust you and what your thought leadership is all about and what value you bring to them. And then they need to move through that journey, right? So the buyer's journey, into a point where they're like, yes, this is the person that I want to do business with. And so that is what I would consider a pipeline. All right, so it's moving the buyer from awareness through commitment and beyond with you. And a funnel is the vehicle that drives them through that journey. They hop on board with you. They get to know you a little bit better. They get to like you and they get to trust you. But it takes and here's the point, guys. Here's why we're here. It takes very specific and intentional strategies in order to move your buyer through that relationship with you in a way that they will trust you and they will feel good about you and they will want to do business with you, creating relationship. It is not spammy, scammy, or pushy. It is intentional in how to develop that relationship. And so that's, to me, what a funnel is. I would love to know your take on funnels. I know there was a lot of interest from people to be here today. And so while I can't see anyone out there, I apologize. I don't know why. I'll figure it out. I'm just trusting. I'm trusting that people are either tuning in now to listen to this conversation or will be watching it because it will be available on a replay. In many different ways. So welcome and thank you for being here. It is a beautiful way to spend your time because I believe that if you think about a funnel as the life or as the mode that people get on and take a journey with you, I think about it from your perspective as the lifeblood of your organization. And the reason I say that is because to not have an intentional way of moving people through their buying decision, then you're leaving it up to chance and you're just throwing spaghetti against the wall. I'm going to run an event. Let's see how that works. Boom, I'm going to put out a newsletter. Let's see how that works. And unfortunately, in today's economy and in today's business environment, we all have to be a little bit more intentional than that because there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise. God bless you if you are in a vertical or a position where you're the only choice out there and you have more business than you need to have. I almost tend to think you wouldn't be here on this call if that was the case. So if you're here, if you're listening to the replay, then chances are you do have an opportunity to really be able to get more intentional with this marketing tool and enjoy that relationship that you're creating with people. Now listen, here's the other thing that I believe is sometimes confusing about the word funnels is like, do I have a funnel? Like one funnel where I feed people through until they become clients? What, do I have more than one funnel? And the answer is absolutely yes. More than one funnel. You may have many funnels. It's almost like juggling balls. It's like, which funnel am I running right now? And I might put this one on pause and start this one up. You might have an evergreen funnel, for instance, one that goes all the time. It might be a list building type of a funnel that you have it on simmer. You've got an awesome lead magnet, which we're going to be talking about today, our lead generator, and it's something that's creating a quality increase to your email list. And that's the important part of it, is if you've got a lead generator that is consistently feeding new relationships into your pipeline, into that awareness level of your pipeline, then you have a beautiful funnel that you just want to put on autopilot and let it simmer until it's not working anymore, and then you adjust it, right? So that's one type of a funnel. Now you might have other funnels that are very short term. Like, have you ever run an event, a webinar, a challenge, something like that? And that event is a very specific funnel that happens at a particular time. and you have a process to move people through that funnel rather quickly, and it's a little bit more intense. All right, so that's a different type of funnel. I call that a sales event funnel. You can call it anything you like, but there are different kinds of funnels. Gosh, if I got paid by the number of times I've said funnel in this next half hour or so, I'd be probably a millionaire. So anyways, why are we here? Here's the thing. I do believe things need to be more strategic. This is what I've seen with the women that are in my Success Collaborative, and in other people that I do a lot of speaking, and I have a lot of, Q&A kind of talking. And I feel like in some ways we handle funnels in a very reactionary mode. And so this show is going to help every single person who joins in each week explore all of these different aspects of funnels and learn how to become more intentional. I want to have conversations about what's working now, because what's working now is different than what might have worked last year or 5 years ago. I want to know, what are you doing that's really making a difference for you and feels good in your business? So not only will I be coming to you each week and talking about funnels, but I'm going to have guests. I call them friends. I'll have friends that are going to join me, and I'd love to invite any one of you who is listening to this replay or is in the audience right now to let me know if you're interested in talking about funnels with me. Come on as a guest. Let's talk about what's working for you or what you might be finding challenging, because that would be an awesome conversation too. All right, so here's the thing. Today's focus is all about lead generation. All right, so what we're talking about here is, I would consider it the top of the funnel. The pipeline. So lead generation is, how do people become aware of you? And then how do you actually get them to exchange an email address with you for something of value? So I just want to go into a few minutes around, like, how do you create a powerful lead generator? And why I think this is important is this. I think that the fastest way to grow your business is to reach new audiences. And yes, there's a lot of choices out there in how you can reach new audiences. You can do ads, Facebook ads, of course, is an opportunity. You can speak, that's an opportunity. There's a lot of different things. But to actually nurture the relationship, you need to then have multiple follow-up touches, ways that you can, it's like writing love letters and saying, I know you, I see you, and here's something else that I think would be valuable to you. So to reach new audiences and to become more effective in nurturing that relationship, getting an email address is really the fastest way to grow the relationships. You do it through follow-up. There's some great statistics out there around how many times someone needs to see your name, to hear your message, your thought leadership, in order to grow that relationship. It's something like 20 times. It's a very unusual situation where someone sees you, listens to you once, and says, yes, I'm on board. And especially the higher ticket that you go in your business, right? So building a very strong front end of your pipeline with a great lead generator is a crazy important thing for you to do. All right. This is what they are. They're a free asset that you're offering to potential customers that will build authority and trust, because people really want to know who they can trust. And it's what they're doing is you're actually giving them something of value that shares what you do and what you offer to the world, and then the type of business that you have. So you're giving something to them. But above all, seriously, your lead generator has to solve a problem for your customer. A small problem. A problem that can be solved quickly, that again helps them understand who you are, what you do, and why they should trust you. HubSpot did a did a research project recently that said that every email you get is worth about $10 to your business. So here's my challenge to you is to look at your lead generator and say, is the value I am providing in this particular asset, is the value I'm providing equivalent to what they're giving to me, that email address? You know it. I mean, each one of us has an inbox, and we know when we sign up for something, some form of a generator, we know that we're going to be on a follow-up campaign. So it's a conscious decision that we're making at the time we sign up. And in our mind, I don't know about you, but I am. In my mind, I'm saying, is this going to be worth it? You know, am I going to want to hear from this person? And in a lot of cases, the lead generators I sign up for, I am so happy that I have learned something new, gotten some value, and created a new relationship with somebody I didn't even know about. Other situations, I get it and I'm like, that was not worth it. And I tend to disengage from that email list as quickly as I got on it. So that's what you have to think about as you look at or audit your lead generator and make certain that you are putting out there something that's valuable to people. Here's the other thing, because a lot of times people say, well, I think email's dead. Like, I hate email. I hate people spamming my inbox. I hate all of that clutter that comes in. I think email is dead. And it's another research project that HubSpot took on that said, and this is really important, for every $42 that you spend on your email initiatives, your return on investment is 4,200%. I mean, that's a pretty good ROI. Yes, you can do Google ads, you can do Facebook ads, you can do speaking, you can do networking, you can do all kinds of things, but there is a cost to each one of those, either in time or in money. And so utilizing or growing a quality email list is still one of the best ROIs that you can do for your business. You own it and you have the opportunity to nurture it in a way that you have control over who sees it and you know the quality of what's going in it. So I'll stand by it in this day and age. To start a relationship, you really want to have an email address, and a great lead generator will get that email address for you. All right, so we're at the top of the funnel. We're talking about creating relationships, awareness, creating a lead generator. It's just one aspect of your funnel. So what does it take to actually create one? And I think what I'd love to do in this section is ask you to think about your lead generator. And I'm going to give you a few best practices and tips that it should do, and some rules that it should follow to get the best return on that investment. And then just think about whether or not that is working for you and what you might have an opportunity to increase in it. All right, so here's the thing. When you think about your lead generator or one that you want to create, I want you to think about what is the one problem that you're trying to solve with that particular asset that you own. What is the problem? Can you look at your lead generator? Is it extremely clear to the people who are going to be receiving it? What is the problem that they will be able to solve or move further away from by this one thing that they're going to get? Because what will move people into action more than anything else is transformation. If they are over here with something and they're like, oh, I want to be over here, and they see a possibility of getting closer or to where they want to be, then what we're talking about is success. That's interesting to them. So are you clear in the problem? And is it just one problem? And here's what I see quite often when I do audits of lead generators for my potential clients or my clients, is that we are so excited and passionate about what we do that we want to throw the kitchen sink at our people. Like we want to really like, listen, I can help you solve this and I can help you solve that and I can help you solve this. It's like there's so much that we want to deliver that we actually, I call it the curse of knowledge. We actually overwhelm people. And when someone is overwhelmed, they can't take action. They can't process the information. They'll shut down and you won't accomplish what you're hoping to with that. So in this situation, I know I just told you your lead generator has to be valuable, but it also has to be very concise and brief, not overwhelming. Our attention span, we're the TikTok generation here, guys. Our attention span is shrinking, 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 shrinking. So how can you be efficient in describing the problem, agitating it a bit, and really helping them see that there is a possibility for relieving that situation? Which leads me to the next thing that has to be present in your lead generator. Can you pique someone's interest in how you might be able to solve that problem? All right, so this is, if you think about it, your lead generator is your opportunity to be a thought leader. Like you are going to share a perspective about how to solve that problem. Do you sound like everybody else? Are you sharing a perspective that they might have heard from someone else already? Because that'll be like, heard that before. Like there's nothing new here. There's nothing new here. So are you sharing your thought leadership in a way that will pique their interest and help them see that they need to shift the way they're thinking about something? I'm going to give you an example. I have one of my best lead generators. I've had it in place for a couple years and it still continues to be a great lead generator. It's called Getting to Yes Faster. It's a little video series that I put together, and it helps people understand that when they are in a sales conversation, you're not going for just one solution. Yes, I want to do business with you, but that in order to get to that end result, the person has to be answering 3 questions in their mind. They need to understand the answers to those 3 questions or they will never get to that end result. That is my unique approach to how to have a great sales conversation. Don't miss it. You don't miss one of these 3 questions or chances are you're not going to be able to get to yes. Now, I present that in a way that I don't believe anybody else does out there, and I don't believe that people really intentionally know this information. This has been an awesome way for me to help people understand how to have great sales conversations. That's the problem that it solves. Let's have better sales conversations. And it's in a very specific way that no one else is talking about it. So it gets great traction. That's what I mean by one problem to solve and pique their interest in a way that is very interesting. If you want to take a look at that lead magnet, it's at gtyfaster.com. You can go ahead and log in there, gtyfaster.com. It's a super fast little video series. I call it an enhanced lead magnet. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, because it is a video series and it is something that's, maybe 10 or 15 minutes as opposed to a quick PDF read. We'll talk about that. But those are the first 2 criteria in having a lead generator that is really powerful. Solves one problem, gets them interested, and shows thought leadership in a way that they're not hearing it from other people. All right. Now here's the next step is if you can pique their interest and go, oh, I hadn't thought about it that way, then a good lead generator will help them organize their thinking about their problem. So you are definitely introducing them to some paradigm shift into how they can approach the problem differently with your help. All right. So once they think about it differently, what actions can they take to actually approach the problem differently? Now, if you have those 3 things in place, I am not kidding you, you've got a killer lead generator that will add people to your email list that will be ideal clients for you because you know exactly what they're interested in. So those are, if you think about your lead generators, think about what it is that you are trying to solve. Are you doing it uniquely? And are you helping them organize their thoughts around what they need to do? And are you calling them then into action? Ay, ay, ay. I'm not kidding you guys. I've looked at so many lead generators that leave the client hanging. They leave them hanging. I'm like, well, this is good to know. And you pique my interest, and I like where this is heading. But what do I do next? So there's no even transitional call to action. I'm not even saying, hey, reach out to me and have a consult. It's like, what do you want them to do? Be very clear and intentional. People need to be led. We as humans look for leadership. We look for someone who is going to lead us. And your lead generator, although that's not what the word lead is intended to mean, but it really in this case does, is lead me to the next step. What actions do I have to take, please? Make certain that throughout your lead generators, you are giving them very clear directions on how they can take action on what they are learning. All right. So those are kind of, if you take a look at your lead generators, the ones, or if you're thinking about developing a new one, right? I would love for you to be able to see those things very clearly apparent, present in your lead generation. Okay. All right. So when you think about creating a lead generator, you know that you've got to have one problem, pique their interest, help them shift the way they think, and call them into movement. That's what the content should be. But when you think about creating a lead generator that people will actually utilize, right? So and let me put it this way. Have you ever signed up for a lead generator or something from someone? You got it into your inbox and the moment had passed, right? When you signed up for it, you were like, oh, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to get it. But you get busy, right? And you finally get to it. You open it up, you're like, I don't see it. I can't remember why I was excited about this. So there's not consistency between the way people are promoting the lead generator and when I physically open that lead generator, am I still excited about it, right? So people have given you their email address, but now they're not going to do anything with the lead generator. And that means you haven't really won anything there. So when you're creating the lead generator, you've got to continue the story. Continue why it's so important to them and what makes it valuable. And that's part of your delivery system. That's when you're building the delivery system that delivers that lead generator to people. Are you spending time really connecting the dots between what you promised and what's being delivered and how excited they should be about it? Are you creating a nurturing campaign that says, just because they got it doesn't mean they used it. Keep them excited. Keep them excited about, did you get to that first step? Did you notice that one thing? So you've got to keep the excitement up around the value that people will get from this particular asset that you've shared with them. All right, so I will also say, and I kind of alluded to this in a little bit ago, that you've got to keep it short. Now, my getting to yes faster is actually a little bit too long, but the value is so huge that it's a wonderful asset for people to have and for me to keep pointing people back to. So typically, the more compact you can keep your value, the shorter it is, the more likely people will consume it, get what they want, and be motivated to move on to the next step with you. All right, so one of the rules of creating a really killer lead generator is you want to keep it short. I do have other lead generators for my business that are fantastic, that are, like a 5-minute read. I love videos. I think they love consuming via video. I like to do I've got this one lead generator that is around a 6-step formula for creating content, and it is really short, and it's delivered both in a PDF and a companion video. So mixing up the modalities that you deliver is awesome. in order to keep people moving through it quickly and getting to the end of that problem that you're solving and having them really understand the value you can bring. All right. So make it valuable, connect the value you promised to the value it delivers, keep it short. And then the third thing around creating really great lead generators is, I know this is crazy and it's kind of clickbaity, but you've got to give it an interesting title. You've got to capture their curiosity. And you've probably have heard this before, but can you become an expert at giving tips? 5 tips to this, or the secret to this. People want to be in the know. You've got to feed into their curiosity and into, I like to call it FOMO. I don't want to be the one to miss out on something, right? So what is it that is so interesting here that I need it, and I need it right now? All right. So listen, I think if you follow those rules that I just laid out for you, you're going to accomplish what you're looking for. You're going to be able to give your customer a lot of value. You're really going to be able to establish yourself as a market leader in the area of your expertise. And that will lead people to trusting you more. So that's, I mean, that in and of itself, there's no downside at all. And here's the other thing. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation. I know I have. There's this desire for reciprocity as humans. Okay. So if I get a lot of value from someone, like I sign up for a lead generator and then I'm led to another free event and I'm led to something else of information, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much value from this person. I actually want to do business with them because I want to reciprocate. I'm a huge YouTube and TikTok fanatic, by the way, and I will just binge watch on those. And there's some people I follow that I just want to pay money to because they have helped me so much for free. And I find ways to be able to do business with them. I really do. The ones that are the most meaningful for me. So don't ever be afraid that you're giving too much value. Make certain you give value, but make certain that you also use it to draw people in towards you where you can give them more personal value. That's the best part of the lead magnets is, when they cross that line from being someone who enjoys what you do and what you have to say out in an anonymous arena, in essence, and finally says, hey, I want to know you. You are someone of value and I want to get to know you more. I want to pay you to actually work with me, together with me. So that's the other thing, is providing that enormous value, having reciprocity. And then the thing about the lead generators is that you are solving a small problem, that you want to enlighten your customers about the problems you can solve. So many times, like I'm in networking events and I hear people talk about what they do, and I'm like, I'm not really sure I understand. I don't get it, based on how they communicate it. But if I see something in a lead magnet, I'm like, oh, that's the problem they solve. Now it becomes clear to me. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. And if I can trust you to solve a small problem, then I'm more likely than not will trust you with my bigger problems. And that's what our paid work is about. You give away solutions to the small problems, but once they overcome that problem, life isn't perfect. They still have other problems that have to be solved, and that's when they will come to you because they can trust you. I'll give you another example of that from the Getting to Yes Faster. So it solves the sales conversation problem. In a way, it helps them understand what are the three questions that just have to be answered before someone can say yes to doing business with you. That's one part of the problem in a sales conversation. That doesn't solve the whole thing. There's a lot more to it. And if they can trust me around that, then they will come to me to say, I need help with my conversations. They're not, my conversion rates aren't as good as they should be. And we can discuss all of the little problems around that. So that's kind of the benefit of a lead generator is, this is how I usually describe it to the women in my programs, is I call it an appetizer. you're the entree. Your programs are the entree. They're the smorgasbord of what you do and how you can help people. If you were if you were in Costco and you're on the aisle with like a tray full of appetizers, that's your lead generator. By the way, those are lead generators at Costco. That is how a product-based company gives out samples as lead generators. If you're an online business, there's other things that you do. All right. Hey, here's one other thing that's really good about lead generators. You can segment your audience. Now, this gets a little bit more sophisticated, but you can have different lead generators for different segments of your audience. Great example of this. Here's one. Quiz funnel, right? You have a great quiz funnel that the quiz at the front of the funnel is really helping you understand who is this person and what's important to them. Now, the results of the quiz could help you segment how you want to talk to that person. Talking to person A, because of what you found out about them, is way different than talking to person B. So if you can use a funnel coming in to understand your people and then be able to segment your message out so that you are speaking specifically to the type of person they are, to what they're looking for. Oh, that's the ultimate in creating relationships. It's beautiful. Hey, quiz funnels are just one type of lead generator that's super popular right now, basically because people like taking quizzes and getting results, right? They're fast, they're interesting, and you can collect a lot of great quality leads through quiz funnels. But there's lots of other ones. They don't have to be very sophisticated. Like, for instance, the PDF, like a lead generating PDF it's short, it lasts a long time because it's not time bound. You know, you're talking about your overarching business. It's not very expensive. It's easy to implement. There's like a lot of great things about lead generating PDFs. And there can be, lists and infographics and all different types of how-to guides. There's just a million ways. But then there are other lead funnels or lead generators that are a little bit more sophisticated. This is a lead generator, right? I want to get to know you. I want to be able to create relationships. So it's top of the funnel awareness. Podcasts are also great lead generators. But in both situations, you have to think about, okay, so if people are contributing or paying attention to or being part of this particular lead generator, how do I nurture them forward and get them to onto my email list so that I can nurture a relationship? So you've got to be very intentional about that. There are enhanced lead generators. Live events can be a lead generator for certain, or webinars. You can have open houses or roundtable conversations. You can do Facebook Lives. You can do video series. And there's just like, the sky is the limit, you guys. Here's how I usually will talk with people about how do you decide. It's like a strategy. What do you want the end result to be? What's the problem that you solve? Don't start with what vehicle should I use, but start with the end in mind, with what you want the result to be, and then determine what's the right vehicle to use, something that you love to do, something that is really like fits you like a glove. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's probably 100 different types of lead generators, but we're running long, so I'm just going to keep moving along. So whatever type of lead generator you choose to create, you want to follow 4 sections. All right, so I'm going to go through this super quick. I would love it if anybody wanted to reach out to me and get more of the details on behind this, but here's the way that you want to create a lead generator. Number 1, you got to have a catchy title. That's, again, you got to pique their interest. You got to be able to stop the scroll. You got to be able to get people interested and hopeful that there's something that will be different for them at the end of the consumption of that. Okay, the first section of your lead generator has to address the problem. Please don't name your lead generator or start it out about you. Okay, so it's just so important for you to be in the back seat. You are the guide. You're the person who's there as a subplot character to the hero of the story, which is your client, and everything you start out with has to be about their world, what they want, what problem they're trying to solve. So that first section of your lead generator, you have to identify the problem, stir it up, agitate it, and then express empathy and authority over this. Now the guide starts talking about it. I've been there, I've seen this, I've experienced it. I know where you're coming from. This really stinks that you're going through this, right? So section 1 is the emotional stirring of the pot. It's the reason why people will keep reading. And we are selfish human beings. It's got to be about them, about their problem. Okay, the second section is after you ramp the problem up, you want to offer a glimpse into the solution. This is what it could look like, right? So I understand where you are. I understand the problem. I get it. But what if this, like, what if you had a solution that could do this? What if, right now, we're not talking about your product or program here. We're talking about their world and how their world would be different if they had a solution to their problem. So you're offering them the possibility that this could be different. And then section 3 is where normally people start out. Here's the tips or trips that can solve that problem. So I've seen so many lead generators where it's like 5 tips to doing this, and they open up with this skinny little intro paragraph. Hey, I bet you want to know how to do this. Here's the 5 tips. And they go right into the tips. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. You haven't even drawn me in. I don't know what that problem feels like. I don't know specifically, like, what is going to be different for me. So don't give me your tips or tricks until you've enrolled me into why it's important for me to be able to solve that problem. So section 1 is addressing the problem. Section 2 is stirring it up and helping them see the possibilities of a solution. Finally, section 3 is where you get into your tips and tricks. And then section 4 is, what do we do about it? Okay, remember, you can't leave them hanging. Don't leave them hanging. There's your tricks. Go have fun with them. You want to have a specific call to action, but you want to say, okay, now you know, what are you going to do? How are you going to implement these tricks or tips? How are you going to reach out to me and tell me which one of these is the one that you think will make the biggest difference for you? And by the way, you also have to add this. By the way, here's what success looks like if you actually take action on what I'm talking to you about. And here's what failure might look like if you continue to do, right? I mean, you can close the brochure, close the PDF and not do anything at all, but what will happen to you 6 months from now? What does your life look like? Is it any different? So you want to really instill a sense of urgency, and you want to instill, like, what's the possibilities, or what if you don't do anything? And include the direct call to action to what you're looking for them to do immediately after they finish. And then how will they know? They reach out to you and you guys have a great conversation about next steps. What are the next steps? All right. So those are just, oh goodness gracious, those are just a few of the tips around how to create a great lead magnet, how to put the sections in place so that people really want to read it, how to keep connected to the urgency and the emotional aspect that you've created within them in order for them to download it. It's a strategy, guys. It's a full-blown strategy. And that's the part that I see missing more often than not. Alrighty. Listen, I hope that this has been valuable to you. By the way, I do want to mention that next week on starting on Wednesday, or is it Wednesday? August 9th. Let's just say August 9th. I've got an awesome event that's starting. It's called Creating Compelling Content. So one of the things that we will be working on in that event is how to create a lead generator. But it's more than that. I'll be doing a little bit of teaching around a formula that you can use that will help you be able to write content in a way that's really interesting and compelling to your people. Lead generators is one of them. Email campaigns, sales pages, sales conversations, sales emails, everything sales and marketing. Now, you may or may not have a copywriter, right? I know personally, I prefer to write my own content because I feel it's more authentic to my voice. Nobody knows my business the way I do, and nobody knows my clients the way I do. So I write things myself. I use this formula, and this is how it has changed my world. I used to dread it. I used to procrastinate. If I hit my email list up once a month, it was a lot. And since learning this formula, I just find it so much easier to get the words to flow and to get the results from what I'm writing. So I would love it if you would be interested in joining us. The registration, I know it's really small down there, uwib.info/content, no caps. That's the link for the event. It's kind of a cool little 3-day thing. It's 2 hours each day, 9th, 11th, and then again on the 15th. It's a little bit of learning, but a lot of creating. You're gonna be creating content along the way, and I'll be giving critiques and feedback on it. And it is gonna be a really unique experience. So if you're interested, hit the link. If you have questions, let me know. I'm also running an open house on Friday at noon. You'll see that in my feed. If you have questions and you're just like, I want to talk more about these lead generators. I want to know. I've got some questions I wasn't able to, get answered in this either live event or replay. Feel free to come to the open house on Friday. It's just like open office hours where we're just going to be talking more stuff around funnels. Guys, this was the inaugural episode of Women Running Funnels. I would love to have you on as one of my guests if you do run funnels for your own business, or if you run funnels as a business helping clients run funnels. I want to hear other voices. I want other people's opinions about things. And so every week on Wednesday at noon, we're going to have a different topic. And next Wednesday, our topic is going to be around, where are they? Where are our people hanging out? And how can we get engagement? So we're talking about different forms of social media and ways that you can get the attention of your ideal clients before they actually come into your funnel. So we're going to have some great conversation around what's new and exciting and how can we use those to be able to increase the number of people who know what we do and how we do it. Once again, this is Susan from Unstoppable Women in Business, and I have loved being here. I would love to see and talk with you all. Hopefully by the time we get together next week, I'll figure out how to get the comments flowing from LinkedIn and into my recording system here so that I can do that. But until then, I hope that you all have a fantastic week. Reach out to me, Susan at uwibusiness.com, or find me on LinkedIn. You know where I am. Let me know how I can support you in any way. It's a pleasure. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Go get them, girls.